Good morning, dear colleagues, ambassadors, dear project partners, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to open this conference today. Media should make no compromise when it comes to achieving high ethical standards in reporting. A journalistic text must be accurate, impartial, present diversity of opinions, and respect the fundamental rights of individuals. But journalists today are faced with an unprecedented phenomenon of fake news, or as we in the European Union prefer to call it, the phenomenon of disinformation. Disinformation is understood as very false or misleading information that is created, presented, and disseminated for economic gain or to intentionally deceive the public. Disinformation distorts public debate, undermines citizens' trust in institutions and media, and even destabilizes democratic process and the integrity of elections. Citizens in the European Union are concerned about this information. The results of the Eurobarometer surveys conducted last year shows that 83% of Europeans think that fake news is a threat to democracy. And 73% of internet users are concerned about disinformation spreading online in the pre-election periods. This is why the European Commission put forward a strategy for tackling online disinformation and an action plan against disinformation, and it was done last year. A set of measures will be used to tackle disinformation online, including an adoption of self-regulatory European Union-wide code of practice on disinformation, analyzing and countering disinformation, and encouraging fact-checking. Montenegro and Western Balkans region are also affected. The information environment here is vulnerable and often manipulated. This is why the European Union delegation was happy to support the project dealing with ethics and fake news, which was successfully implemented by MENA and their partners 35mm and Nomen. Over the last 1.5 years, they worked with editors, journalists, media associations, schools, primary and secondary school pupils, students of journalism, and citizens in many municipalities to explain what ethical journalism is and to raise awareness about disinformation. The work of this project has laid important foundations for the European Union in Montenegro to continue analyzing the phenomenon of disinformation, which can lead to distortion of public opinion on the EU accession process. We count on Montenegrin media and the civil society to be our partner in this process. Addressing disinformation is more than simple debunking news or myths. It requires strengthening of professional and independent media, empowering journalists, and fostering digital and media literacy. The public service broadcasters bear an even greater responsibility than the private media towards the citizens who pay for it and whose interests must be protected. The role of the government in building resilience to disinformation should not be underestimated either. The state has to create conditions for professional journalism and increase media literacy, especially among young people. The European Union will continue to provide support in this area. Fight against disinformation and increasing media literacy are highly important objectives in our current media professionalism program. As you know, Project proposals are currently being evaluated, and I hope to see good projects on this subject kicking off at the beginning of next year. We also continue our work with international partners such as UNICEF when it comes to increasing self-regulation and media literacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by stating that we are all in this together. The fight against disinformation in Montenegro and the wider region is a complex exercise requiring international and local partners, media, civil society, and fact-checking organizations to join efforts and work together. We must understand better and respond more effectively to disinformation challenges. The European Union and our member states are building their capacity and stand ready to help our partners in the region, Montenegro in particular. So thank you very much for your work on this project, and I wish you a very successful exchange today. Thank you.